The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it is Sunday, October 15th, and this is episode 156 of the Omnic Weekly. Not 155 like I accidentally put in the title of the live stream. We're recording this live on Patreon for the people that are mainstream listeners and above. So if you want to follow this live, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/theomnicpost, and maybe you can join us for the next episode. And of course, this will also be on YouTube if you're listening. I've noticed that a few people have made it over already, but before I can start doing all that, there's something big we need to celebrate, apart from what we're going to talk about at the end of the podcast. But for the first time ever, I'm being joined by both Hannah and Frozen.
Yay!
I just told them, like, I'm in the minority today. I'm not wearing glasses. I can fix that, though. Oh, I just thought about this.
Just wanting to fit in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
To deal with it, glasses. They're always on my desk, but I never use them. I never deal with it. Anyways, Hannah, Frozen, welcome. Let me start out with Hannah, because we haven't seen Hannah for a while now. Hannah, how you doing?
It's fine. I'll get there one day.
Step by step.
I've officially been ill for long enough now that it is a new chronic condition. Yay.
Yeah. That, like, this is not a political podcast, so I'm not going to start ranting about healthcare in the UK. But good God. Jesus freaking Christ. But I don't think it's any better in Germany, right? Like, hey, Frozen, by the way, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey.
I feel
I'm
like
okay.
Frozen looks extra shiny today.
I got my hair recolored.
That might be it. That pops. We look dull, Hannah. We need to get our hair colored. Would you guys think I could?
do get my hair coloured. I just get it dyed a natural colour. Because otherwise it would be like really, really dark brown.
Okay. Do you think I could do the same thing that Frozen did with her hair to my beard?
Absolutely.
I bet that would look gorgeous.
I reckon you could get the full colours of the Deemsy's logo in the background across your beard.
I mean, I have pink and purple. You could do like other two colors that fit well together.
Like black, black and brown.
Do the full Deemsy spectrum that you.
The full Deemsy spectrum, exactly. Like I have it right there, the orange. Oh Jesus Christ! If people are not afraid of me right now, they might be when I have a beard like that. But anyways, we're not here to discuss my beard or anybody's hair or vestments or any kind of thing. We're here to talk about Overwatch. Yeah, that is a beautiful mug. What is in there? Is it like what do you call it? Pumpkin spice whiskey or something? Like something strong?
No, it's just Tetley's tea.
Tea. Okay. Well, you're British. Understandable. Understandable. I'm going for a Pepsi Max with a touch of lemon.
Nice.
I need to get sponsored by Pepsi at this point. Anyways.
Water with water and water.
Those Germans, they know how to drink. I've said it.
They do.
Yeah. All right. But it's been a good week in Overwatch. Well, on many accounts. But let's start out with the less, how am I going to say this, corporate political stuff, because we have something big to discuss at the end of the podcast. I mean, Hannah's she's not feeling 100%, as you can tell, and she's like still a little under the weather, but she was adamant that she was here because this for her is like a huge victory, what we heard to do this week.
I'm getting the best birthday present ever.
There we go. When is your birthday, actually?
January.
Oh, January. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Okay. Now, this week we had the start of the Halloween event. Season 7, actually, which started out with the Halloween event. Right now, Season 7 is the Halloween event because they're keeping everything else for BlizzCon to kind of discuss. But how you guys been enjoying the Halloween event? I don't know if you got the chance to play a lot. I know Frozen has been traveling this week, and Hannah has been sick.
The night that I had booked to get like a large chunk played was update night, and as we all remember, no one could play.
But Hannah, at some point I'm going to have to I'm just going to call it that it's your own fault at that point. Never plan an evening of gaming on the night of update for Overwatch.
Night. I know.
It's such a classic mistake. I still make the same mistake though. I'm like, that's why I don't stream anymore on patch day, because all you do is entertain people when you queue. Yeah. I don't do it anymore. I'll do it the next day.
Like,
Whenever
I
she still does
have
it.
a friend that I play with, and we usually do Tuesdays because, like, between sort of some stuff that I do and some stuff that she does, like, Tuesday is the best day for us to play together. And so it was like, ooh, Tuesday, patch day, ooh. No,
No.
played
just watch
one
the
game.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, it was really bad this time around. It's been better in some instances, but this time around, I think a lot of people were a little too excited to get in there, which is, let's be honest, quite unique.
It's a good sign.
Yeah.
Completely understandable too.
It is understandable, but look, this is a season without a hero. Usually, the hero seasons are the ones that make the servers go kaplunk.
Yeah.
But this time around, it was also going kaplunk, and I think we all agree that it is for one single reason, and that is the skins.
Boopy season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I managed to play a bit on. That was the only night I could play on patch night. I stayed up until like 3 a.m. I think to play.
Hardcore.
And then I had my 4 hours of well-deserved sleep before I took my train.
Well, it was a long train ride. You could sleep on the train.
Yeah, it was like a 5-hour train ride because we don't talk about the train system here in Germany. But I had so much fun. And I mean, we managed to play one game on release night, I think.
Yeah.
For you to record something,
Yeah,
and then all of them got thrown out immediately.
It was done.
And I think after an hour, I managed to get back in and play. And I mean, I had so much fun with the new Trials of Sanctuary mode.
It is fun.
It is so much
I haven't
fun.
managed to play it yet.
Yeah.
It is super fun.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how it is so much fun because it's actually kind of just an evolution of Junkenstein's Revenge. It's not like the Bride thing, because the Bride thing had a storyline to it and all these different points. This one is kind of set in an arena that is bigger than the, what is it called again? The new map, Aldenwide or something like that. I'm looking at Frozen because she's German and she's just watching me struggle in German and going, you stupid Belgian. Yeah.
I'd have to look up how it's written. Right now, I don't remember how it's called.
It's something with Eagle's Nest or something, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Foresty stuff.
Yeah, something foresty. But in any case, they made it a little bigger. You basically have that final section. But it's the pickups and the basically the leveling or the progression that you made throughout that whole experience. So you haven't played it, Hannah, but have you seen footage of it? Or shall I describe it? I'll describe it.
Describe it for people that haven't.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. But basically, you have this waves of these Omnics coming in from different places. You'll have to move around to all the different spots. Sometimes they'll come way out of the back, like the spawn room on what is Disney World is actually changed into this huge chapel that looks really impressive. But these keep spawning, and then you have the occasional boss. You have the mini bosses, then you have the bigger bosses, and then you eventually have Lilith that you have to face. But as you kind of kill all these mobs, they'll drop things that will basically raise the stats on all of your team. So the further you get into the experience, the stronger you get. And for the bosses, they drop these upgrades like we would have gotten in PvE, where you basically get a new thing tied into your main abilities, like all of your abilities. There's like, I think 5 or 6 of these pickups that you can get. And some are very obvious, like Reinhardt just kind of spills lava everywhere with all of his abilities, which is kind of funny to watch.
They just took Torbjorn's ult.
Yeah, he did. He definitely stole from Torbjorn. And I was playing Yari, and Yari just gets these little interesting buffs that are not as noticeable. And I tried to read every time, like one of those dropped, to read what actually happened, but I had to continue fighting. So I was like, wait, what? Never mind, I'll just continue.
Never mind, I'll work it out.
Yeah.
My team is dying. I need to heal everybody. Goodbye. But yeah, it makes it interesting. And then you have these chests that are hidden, and then there's again, like they did last year, these small Easter eggs that are hidden. Like, you remember the doggy that barked from last year? I haven't found anybody that barked. Yeah, exactly. But there are these, like a cat portrait that is hidden, and apparently it's like one of the people that works at Blizzard, the real cat. And all these small things that are hidden there. And look, for some people that is going to be extremely dull and boring, and for others it's kind of a nice thing to do. It is pretty easy from what I heard, though. I only played it on normal up till now. Some people in the community played it on legendary, and they managed to get it in one run.
Compared to other modes they had, I mean, like the most recent thing we can compare it to is maybe the story mode we got, and it's
Legendary
way
on
easy.
that
It's
was
way
just
easier.
insane.
Like
Yeah.
we took a few tries, but like if you know what you're doing, if you have like some basic skills with the heroes, it is quite manageable to do.
It is,
but it's
yeah.
still a lot of fun, and it's weird that some of the bosses are easier than the Orisas.
The Orisas are just
The
insane.
Orisas are a nightmare, especially when you get the shield one. She just got a huge Winston bubble around her that you can't break.
You need to get in
like,
the bubble. Yeah.
you have to ult with Sombra to like delete the bubble. Otherwise, you just have to fight her inside the bubble, and it's a pain.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know that was random though. Someone told me this week that all the Orisas, or like a lot of the mobs, or the mini bosses, or I don't know what to call them actually, are kind of randomly. So you can get a whole fight without the bubble Orisa, which should be, let's be honest, is a cool name for her. We need to get a bubble Orisa skin now, where she's just, I don't know, like a bubble boy.
They have like different names for the Orisas, and one of them the first Orisa we got was the frozen demon.
Oh, look at that.
And like, like immediately when she spun, I was like, "Frozen, is that your demon?"
I am the demon. And Frozen was just like,
But she was just drop May oats everywhere.
yeah, those Orisas are definitely the biggest pain in all of it. Like in that normal, we just burned through all those bosses with so much ease. They were like the normal mobs, basically. But still, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of nice. I know not everybody likes it because some people call it cheap because it's one of their own franchises. But I don't get that whole reasoning because it's one of their own franchises that it is cheap. They don't need to be working with another company to get this done. I mean,
yes, financially it may be cheaper for them, but that doesn't make the experience any lesser for us.
I don't even know. But like, I think the effort they put in there, they never did anything like this with any other crossovers where we always got the skin.
True.
Yeah.
Like, if you compare it to, the crossover that we had.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't get a mode for that. We just got a skin or a few skins.
No.
And now we got a mode tied into it. And I do think like when they do this One Punch Man event, I don't know who pays who, to be honest. Like I feel like who benefits most out of those? How do those contracts work? I have no idea. I'm hoping to find out. I'm going to try and get Jared News for an interview on BlizzCon if I manage to go to BlizzCon and kind of ask some of these things. But anyways, we'll see if I manage to. I still don't know if I'm going to be able to go. I do think they put in a lot of effort, a lot of work went into this. And it's not because it's a Blizzard IP that this is not a real crossover. It definitely is. And for me personally, it's actually quite a fun one. I'd rather have this one than, sorry guys, but another anime one. Jesus Christ. I fully respect people that enjoy anime, but maybe Attack on Titan, that would be the only one that I want to see.
I feel like there's probably going to be more of a crossover between people who play Diablo and people who play Overwatch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Necessarily people who play Overwatch and people who watch anime.
Yeah.
Especially preparing this for the Halloween is just so fitting. And I mean, Blizzard, like in general, like people at Blizzard are always good at doing scary and spooky stuff.
They're all metal. That's why they're all metalheads.
Yeah, it's kind of their forte. So like this guy just kind of hit the spot really, especially with the Halloween.
That company was founded by a bunch of metalheads that decided they wanted to make games, and that has kind of always lingered in there for some reason. It has always drawn metalheads to that company to kind of enjoy the games, and that by itself has drawn into people that are listening to that genre to come in there. It's like this thing, it's all kind of like that. Well, look at us. Like, we all kind of like the spooky stuff, the darker stuff. No, that's definitely true. And the fact that they combined it, we can't complain. We got a crossover with Diablo, some of the best skins that we have seen in this game ever, on top of a new mode that was added after they added the new mode last year. We were talking about this on the podcast last year, Hannah. We were like, oh, hopefully they'll do something different next year. Oh, that might be difficult, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
but they did.
They did something completely different. They didn't do the next chapter in that story, which they could have done and kind of reused a lot of those same assets.
Yeah.
Which they also did in this case. The Zomboids, Zomnic, sorry, are always, well, they are in every single Halloween mission, but I don't mind. But other than that, they made this whole new mission.
Would it really be Halloween without them?
Exactly, exactly.
No.
So that was a nice thing. And then the skins, like, there's been a bit of controversy around that because they are, my apologies, sorry, they are quite expensive. The Moira one that was teased and that everybody wanted is behind a bundle that will set you back $40, which gives you the battle pass, the premium battle pass, also the Farah skin, and a pumpkin bastion skin on top of the usual stuff like the 2,000 coins and the 20 level skips, which isn't, I mean, if you compare the price versus the value, which is a very personal thing, but if you just kind of strictly start calculating how much you would pay for all these things separately within Overwatch, and I'm not kind of defending any price point or anything, I'm just saying, if you look at everything else, that the pricing of all the other items that are in there, that is a good deal. But at the end of the day,
look at it on a spreadsheet without any kind of emotional investment.
Yeah, if you look at the spreadsheet,
yeah.
But the thing is, of course, yeah, it is still $40.
And part of me worries. There's that tiny cynic that we all have, I think, because we've been burnt by Blizzard a few times recently.
Yeah.
That think, they realized they could get away with this price point when they brought in the story missions, and now we're going to get this every battle pass.
Yeah. I think it's the eternal battle that is going on within any company. I'm not just even going to point specifically at Blizzard, at the people that are basically making a job out of making the company more money versus the people that are there to just make fun content. And at which point those people say like, hey, we did it last season. We got a package of 40. What if we just stuff in an extra skin? And yeah, then you basically get this kind of situation.
With the skins that are in there, I know more people this season that have bought the battle pass than like ever before.
But did they get the ultimate battle pass?
Yeah.
It's working.
So it's working.
I mean, Moira is
scary, but
point. Well, I mean, Moira is the point why I got this pack.
Yeah.
Like, also like because Farah's in there, the Farah skin is also just magnificent.
It is.
Like, don't get me, the skins are gorgeous. There is just a part of me that's really worried that this is going to become the new norm.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty obvious that they're taking advantage of the fact that we all like those skins so much. Like the Reinhardt skin was released on Friday, and that was also at a high price point because they also included the highlight intro and a few other items. That was like instead of 2,100, which, well, usually if it's in a bundle with a few extra items, it kind of usually lands around 2,400 Overwatch coins. But because they added the highlight intro, which is usually a little more expensive, they bumped it up to 2,600. So they definitely, I mean, there's no other way to put it. They definitely are kind of taking advantage of the fact that these skins are so popular. They're linking directly the they're linking the creativity of all these people into just squeezing out every single dollar they can get. And I can't but wonder on which level that kind of how it kind of flips over. At which point that people within the company are like, are we not kind of pushing it a little too hard? I know we need to make money and whatnot, but are we not kind of taking advantage? And at which point people are like, nah, let's just see what we can get away with next time. Let's just keep pushing it. Let's keep pushing.
Like, I really do hope it's a sort of like a one-off because of the event and the crossover. And I hope it's not that we're going to see an ultimate pass now every single season.
For $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always had the ultimate pass, I think. Was it called ultimate pass before too? There's always been a pass with a 20
There's always been the one with the skips.
Yeah, I don't know what it was called though.
Yeah.
I think
we had the skips plus.
Yeah, first we have the premium battle pass, and then we had the ultimate one. The premium is $10. It's the normal one. I don't know why they call it premium, but the other one was the ultimate, and it was like 20, 25 around that.
Yeah, I was convinced that it was 20, 25. Like I said on stream actually, like I think it's going to be 20 looks I was completely wrong. Yeah, we'll see. Look, the news that we're going to discuss at the end of the podcast is probably going to hopefully impact this a little bit too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I definitely think.
hope so.
Yeah. I mean, any company needs to make money, and that's just the corporate system that we live in. It happens everywhere. And look, my phone. I have an iPhone. I love iPhones. I love working with them because I have an iPad. I have the Apple Watch. Everything. I work on a MacBook. So everything is kind of integrated with each other, and that's the way they do it, of course. But this phone, I charged it this morning, and my battery is at 14%. So my battery's dead. And I'm like, I need to get a new phone. $1,400 for the same phone I got like a few years ago that I got for $1,000 with the same specs and, well, basically the same model as it was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no freaking way that every material got so much more expensive. Now you're just squeezing it. It's just kind of trying to get every single. Yeah, and to see how far you can go. And at this point, I'm like,
I have a very good little £300 phone.
yeah, but I'm at this point. I'm just looking even into just replacing the battery and like getting that replaced. There's no way I'm going to be paying $1,400 for. Well, we'll see. I say that
if the battery's like the only thing you're not happy with at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it has a lot of scratches, and I've been kind of rough with it, but it is still working. It still does what it needs to do. So, but we'll see. I know myself. Like at one point, I'm like, no fucking way, and then 2 weeks later, I'm just sitting there. Yeah, I just love my gadgets way too much. But it's just
the allure of new tech is just.
Yeah, I can't look. If you could see the things you can see just behind me in my office space to give you a bit of a good insight on.
Oh yeah.
I like what I spend money on. I don't have kids. That's the only way I can explain it. No, I just think
sorry.
no worries. We're living in a system where
you?
the third podcast she does, and she's already making weird noises in the microphone.
I know.
It was
sneezing.
Pardon me.
Gosh.
And I've been coughing and muting myself like 6 times already. Like the whole system that we live in, I think it's just a bubble that is going to burst at some point, and all of this is kind of part of it. It's not a Blizzard thing; it's a global thing. We need to accept it. But anyways, we'll see how it evolves. But apart from all the pricing, those skins look amazing. Like they keep raising the level.
Good. Like genuinely, the Echo skin is making me want to play Echo.
Yeah,
like
it looks
when
beautiful.
the skins are so good, you're like, yeah, I'll play that hero. I can wear it. Sure.
Imagine that. For me, I'm actually more stupid than that. I would get a skin and then never play the hero again. You know? I don't think I would spend money on one specific skin just to have it. Well, there have been instances, but maybe it was because I needed to make content about it, or that's the excuse I gave to myself. But no, yeah, I get it. But the battle pass, the shop skins that are common, like that Ash skin, Jesus Christ,
it's so good.
It's still like one of my favorites, isn't it?
Can't wait to get it. Really.
Yeah.
I play Ash recently more, but it's so good.
I don't like the Bob as much. I know a lot of people like it because it's kind of a nod at Five Nights at Freddy's. But
I love FNAF.
Yeah, I know you guys are big fan. Yeah, but like at the point where you started kind of, you're no longer saying Five Nights at Freddy, but just FNAF. Then you've been playing it a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like we don't say Phasmophobia, we say Phasmo. You know?
We just say Phasmo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the games that you play, you kind of start shortening them. Like when I play Starfield, I just say Moo. That's what I say for Starfield. Because I've been playing it so much. No, I'm lying. I actually played it like for a few hours. I don't have time anymore. But that skin looks amazing. They all kind of do. Like there's a few, like the Lucia skin is my least favorite, but on the other hand, there's like a little Easter egg in it, or like a little hint at the Haunted Mansion in Disney. That makes it a little more fun for me again. Like, it kind of
it's like,
brings it back.
But just because it's your least favorite doesn't mean it's bad.
No, exactly.
Against some things of very high caliber.
Yeah. I think if I had to think, like, which game hits this level of skins, like Fortnite, maybe for some people, not for me personally.
The thing is with Fortnite, from what I've seen, and from when I used to cover it, like news-wise, they would be very hit and miss. So, you get some skins that are like, oh wow, you can tell that they've gone the extra mile.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the most part, they were just I feel like Overwatch has a higher consistency on good skins.
Yeah. And you know what I also think makes a difference is Fortnite will make a Mandalorian skin and just put Mando in there. It's not a character with a Mando costume, it's just Mando.
Yeah, it's not a combination or an amalgamation of
exactly
different styles. It's
use
not
some
a love
fancy
letter
words.
to both.
Exactly. Fancy words that I can't pronounce because I'm Belgian. Thank you. She's back and already lifting the podcast to new heights because our English is not that good. But no, Overwatch actually does indeed make them into costumes. So you basically get this like this ash skin where you have that creepy doll feel, like that. The thing in just the whole theme is, but it's Ash, it's that combination of the character that you've known and the story behind it. And those traits that she has, combined with that, and the Reinhardt Imperial skin, it's just, good God! I got it, and I'm not ever going to take that skin off. I mean, it's all shiny, it's gold. When I charge away, I'm not staring at who I'm charging at. I'm looking at those little wings going. It's such a good skin, and with that pole arm, and I have the golden weapon on him. When he summons it out of the sky, it's so shiny. Oh, good skin. Whoever made it, good job.
And for this season, the amount of detail, like the attention to detail we got, is just incredible. Like even for some epic skins, where I'm like, this is an incredible amount of detail for an epic skin. Like,
Yeah,
we're slowly getting out of reasons to complain about cosmetics and whatnot, except for the price. So.
Yeah.
That is going to put a lot of attention on the price in the coming months, so we'll see. Okay, let's move on. There were a few things. There weren't that many balancing changes, and people were not happy with that, but I do think there's a reason for it, but I'm releasing a video on that. I was actually going to release it yesterday, but then I decided, who releases videos on Saturdays? On Saturdays, we need to chill. So I'm going to be releasing it on Tuesday. Why I think that kind of happened, and I think the main reason is Sombra got such a big rework, and she needed the space to do it. She didn't need all the other heroes to kind of change. They needed to see how that change was going to impact her.
If you change too many things at once, you then can't identify the problem.
Exactly. I compared it to, listen to this. This is a typical D comparison. It's like riding a seesaw on a rocking ship. You're going to get thrown overboard if you do that. Have you tried it ever?
That's very you.
Yeah, that fits.
Funny thing is, I'm always imagining it like some people on a seesaw on a ship in a storm going, "What the fuck are we doing this?"
Like I'm taking a very clinical approach. I'm talking about thinking about eliminating variables and scientific experiments, and you're
seesaw.
like, nah, seesaw.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go.
But it kind of serves the same purpose. It's kind of the same thing. You don't want to change, indeed, all the variables. You want to kind of have an environment that is very scientific, a very scientific approach. And let's be honest, one thing that a lot of people have been complaining about is that they're shooting from the hip. Like, it feels that they're shooting from the hip. Everybody, after every balancing patch, like, what are they doing? Don't they know what you're doing? And now they're kind of going...
things at random, I swear. They're just, picking heroes out of a hat, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. And now they're kind of, wait. Let's just kind of keep it
they're
a little
being
close.
Careful, they're not doing enough. Blah, 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 blah.
You can't win. These guys can't win. But I guess that is the curse. Look, if you charge 50 euros for a skin, well, you need to deal with it. You need to live with that. But the Sombra rework, well, Hannah, you haven't played that much. I don't suspect you played Sombra.
I have not played Sombra since her rework. I have played her a little bit in the past. So I am kind of excited to see how she feels now.
Mm-hmm.
I've played against Sombra, and I can tell you as support, it's horrific.
The new Sombra.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
I fully agree.
I haven't had that issue. I haven't had that issue. Because, I don't know.
Oh, I'm dead. You don't even get to say the name Sombra.
Yeah.
before you've just dropped to the floor. At least that was my experience when I played the other day.
Well, what supports have you guys been playing? Because that might be it. I think that might be the difference between why I haven't had that issue.
Definitely the difference. Like with Ana, I have huge problems when someone is playing Sombra, because the thing is, when you have Moira, when you have someone with agility, once you can dodge that virus, everything's fine. Everything's good. Once you dodge that virus, like the Sombra is dead. Like honestly, with Ana, you can't just walk to the side. That's gonna hit you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and you're dead.
Ana and Mercy, I think.
I played against. I know Mercy has a lot of agility, but it's also usually in a very straight line. Like Moira's a lot more unpredictable. But I was just playing. I felt like I was playing against people who were already experts in the new Sombra. It was just like, oh, I'm dead. Oh,
yeah,
and I'm dead again.
I think, to be honest, I do think the Sombras that are harassing you guys are not the ones that are expert in the new Sombra. Those people die a lot. You need to look at their kill count and the deaths, and they will die a lot more than they kill, because they are still playing Sombra like she used to be before. Now you can't, like, I've encountered a few of those Sombras, and then I switched to Lifeweaver, I switched to Moira, I switched to Lucia, and they don't stand a chance. I kill them over and over again because they can't survive anymore.
No problem with Illari and no problem with Moira.
No, once you switch, it's completely fine. But
but that's just it. I think we're in a situation where a lot of these former Sombra players are still kind of playing her like she used to be played before, and which they try to flank. But they pay the ultimate price. They keep dying over and over again, and they're not really helping the team out. They're annoying the fuck out of you right now because you're playing Ana and you're playing Mercy. But the new, like the most impressive, Yaro's in our community, one of the mods, is such a good Sombra player. And he has been playing her because he's a huge fan of Question. He has been playing her the same way that Question has been playing, that aggressive style. And these guys are just kind of obliterating everybody. And they're not obliterating the supports per se. They're just all over the team. They're just kind of making the difference, and they're helping the team with the EMPs by being very present in the fight, and their kill count is just insane while their death count is super low, and those are the ones that we're going to see in the future. I think it's a temporary thing, to be honest. I think it's also because a lot of people like myself who never played Sombra before, I did the count actually on stream last week. I played 27 just the day that Sombra was released. I was playing her over and over again, and I looked at my stats. And I had played up till that point, from judging by my stats, I had played Sombra 27 times in my whole career on that account. It's one of the 3 accounts.
26 of them were mystery heroes.
No, you're kidding. But 20 of them were mystery heroes. One of them was the day she was released, that one match I got in at the end of the day. And 6 of them were during my stream that I played with the whole thing. That kind of illustrates how this change made her into, for me personally, a whole new different DPS character that I really enjoy. And I'm not harassing the supports per se. I'm just kind of looking at, I'm basically in the fight now. I'm basically right behind the tank, harassing whoever needs to be harassed at that point, hacking them, putting that virus on there and taking them out. Sometimes even on the tank, because I was kind of, should I do that? And then Yaros was like in voice chat, yeah, you need the ult charge. I was like, yeah, good point. Boom, boom, on the tank.
If you go on the tank, you can like get your ult creepishly fast.
Yeah, and that EMP is so powerful. It just kind of cancels everything. People are complaining about Kiriko canceling everything. No freaking way. Look at Sombra. She's just... And one match, I think it was Sombra. Frozen, you were in that match. Like at some point, I did these 2 huge cancels. At some point, they were doing 2 of their ults just gone. I just EMP'd and both their ults were gone. And we were just kind of pushing through. They must have been hating me at that point, but that's the only useful thing I've done up till now on Sombra. But she's a lot of fun. She is. This is the best rework I've seen in Overwatch, like apart from Orisa. I think Orisa was number 1. It still is for me. The way that they reworked Orisa, they made her from a shield dispenser that was just standing there and being all throwing out cute phrases and being all wholesome, and throwing out shields to. Shit, there's Orisa. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If you had told me that.
Honestly, like, in all fairness, even before her rework, I would play Orisa very aggressively because people didn't know how to handle it. Like, I'd put the shield down so that the people who needed to hide behind it could, but I wouldn't. And I would still push forward with Orisa. So her rework for me feels like phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That's how I've always wanted to play her anyway.
And let's be honest, that's the way you if you have a huge Omnic on 4 legs, a center Omnic,
up and in there.
The fact that she was just standing there. What's the use of all those legs if you're just going to stand there and poop out shields? You need to be in the battle. You need to push. You need to be very aggressive, and that's what she does. I know a lot of people don't like her. She's starting to get that name, the Bastion name. You know, like, oh, they're losing. They're picking Orisa, and to a certain extent, yeah, I think that's kind of true. If you have,
yeah, but she's also like, if you don't know how to play Orisa, it's very difficult to like. Obviously, you can just cycle through her skills and pray, but.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't know how to use her skills and like when to use them, you're just still gonna die. You're gonna get melted, especially in this meta.
Bastion, it's just a bit easier just to look and shoot. I think Orisa's a bit more technical than Bastion.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying, like, you know, some heroes get that label of
yeah. Oh, you're picking the easy pick.
Yeah, well, not the easy pick per se, but the how do you say that? The final card you're trying to draw, like the halt card. Yeah, the reverse. Yeah. Card, I don't know what to call it, but I don't want to say that. What was the name you mentioned? I don't want to mention that person.
The trump card.
The thing is that she is fun, but you can get a lot of value out of her when you have enemies that don't really know what they're doing. Like, even though you're not perfect at Orisa, you can still, like, you can, like, push people against walls, push them off of cliffs, and, like, still do stuff, even though you don't necessarily play her a lot.
My personal favorite is when there's a Moira that's ulting, I just push her so that she's not aiming in the right space anymore. It's just like, no.
I did that to Genji this week. I had him cornered and he was just hanging there. I was like, no, and then I javelined him to death. Oh,
you shall not pass.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she can be fun. I mean, but like Sombra is definitely in that same category. This is a rework that is very impactful, and I got so many questions. People that came into my stream, and I think I got the question this week at least 25 to 30 times that people asked me, "Do you think she's too OP? Do you think she's too OP?" And I'm like, can we wait at least another week and see?
We need to see, because there's also a big difference between people playing a hero when they are first released and then people being used to the hero.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
There's always that jump, like, and you find this a lot with new heroes when you're like, oh crap, people are learning how to play them now.
yeah, definitely. That's usually the point where they get nerfed. We've seen that with Yara, we've seen that with Kiriko, we've seen that with Ramatra. Yeah, I think we need to give it a little more time. I did hear, I don't know who told me this, but that a lot of the bigger, I think it was Yaros probably who told me that Fitzy, for instance, one that like, are really kind of the ones that were really good at Sombra before that basically make all their content about it, kind of struggling with this new adjustment and not really enjoying it and not feeling it like they missed their flanking days, I guess. But I did over time.
Teleporting away into the middle of nowhere, I guess.
You know what? I actually, as someone that plays against Sombra, I have that same reflex where I see her teleport away, and I like mentally I kind of gave up. Like I was like for the first few days I was like, oh, she teleported away. She got away. Yeah, I really had to kind of remind myself like, oh, but she's not far. She's right around the corner. I need to chase her down and get her.
Just like, I'm just going to quickly check that health point that I know is over there because she's probably teleported over there.
Yeah, exactly. And that is, I think that also factors into the fact that she is now feeling a little strong is because we mentally, the people that play against her, have not figured out how to deal with her just yet. We're still kind of convinced when she uses that teleporter that, okay, she's like, I don't know, 2 blocks down, eating some French fries.
She's gone and getting shot. Now she's gone. She's not here. Oh, I've got this weird new, like, dot. It's fine. She's not here. She's dead. It's fine. It can't be Sombra.
It's just
it is impossible.
Like, once you get adjusted to, like, how new heroes play, not only playing her, but also playing against her, that's the point where you can, like, tell, okay, does she really need to be nerfed? Or, like, how is her kit right now? Like that takes a few weeks. Like
definitely, especially in this case because there's so much history already. It's we need to not only do we need to learn the new Sombra, we need to unlearn the old Sombra.
Yeah.
All of us, the people that play against her and the people that play with her. So it's interesting.
People have been playing this for years are like so used to Sombra. Okay, see ya.
yeah, true.
Yeah, okay. I'm a
it's
four-man team then. All right.
It's an experience that you need to unlearn against a hero, and that's not gonna happen quickly.
No, exactly. But what do you guys think? Like, I was thinking about. Well, we have this Sombra rework, we have the Roadhog rework coming in a few weeks, which is also going to be interesting. And if it's of the same caliber as this one, oh god, I'm already looking forward to your comments. But I personally kind of enjoy this. I wouldn't mind. I know some people are going to hate this comment.
Refreshing of old heroes.
Just like occasionally, just shake them up, not because they're not feeling well. And I know some people are going to hate this because people hate change, and I'm kind of the opposite of that. I always kind of love the challenge of having that I get bored really easily when things stay the same for too long. That it would kind of be fun if they occasionally did that with all of the heroes on purpose, like they can have this rotation. But I think I might be one of the few people that would enjoy that.
I feel like doing it all the time would sort of... I think you risk alienating people who, you know, we all know someone who only plays like one or two heroes. And if you kind of threaten to to change those one or two heroes, if they're not up for relearning, which they're probably not up for learning if they're not expanding their hero pool, then you risk alienating them completely.
Yeah, that is very true.
Like I welcome change sort of like on a less grand scale, whereas they come up with new technologies and more heroes come in, so you need to make sure that everyone's kind of got this, everyone's still got their unique flair as the hero roster updates, and you know, every hero still has their place. You're going to have to change things every so often. And I think it's good to sort of keep refreshing them when they need it, but it would worry me if they were doing it just for the sake of doing it. I would rather they add a new hero than take the same looking hero.
I was just going to say that it might be more interesting to just add a new hero. Then you also run the risk into, like, some heroes will kind of start to look a little or play a little close to each other, and some heroes being abandoned. But maybe that's not a bad thing either. Maybe that is a more natural evolution, and people that want to stick with Genji the way he is forever and ever and ever, well, they can. But then there's this other guy, Gonju, that is slightly different. He throws dishes instead of... he has a Greek heritage. He throws dishes instead of chickens. No, I mean, yeah, I know that I would be very lonely in that approach, and that not a lot of people would enjoy it. But my point actually is kind of like, or what I want to kind of take away from this is that they can do some amazing things just by changing a hero and make it feel like something. It brings something new to the game that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
It brings something fresh.
I think the key to Sombra's rework is she still feels like Sombra.
Yeah.
Like she plays very differently, and we're all learning how to play her and play against her, but she is still very much the same character.
Yes, she is. They did an amazing job. They really...
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the point. Like, I mean, Orisa, they did a whole image change too, but you have to keep the essence of the character. Otherwise, you can just scrap it and make a new one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially in Overwatch, because Overwatch is, and that is not a lot of people know that, but is a very hero-based game where you need to kind of need to link these heroes together. You need to counterplay these heroes, and you need to keep that essence, those basic elements intact. Otherwise, it's just becoming a joke.
I mean, Overwatch is a game where people, more than others, just strongly identify with the characters they play as. It's like, I have never seen this in any other game than like in this one, like that strongly especially. So, I mean, that's why people get mad when they touch their hero. Like
because it's important to them and it's precious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the going back to like your suggestion, they're like changing them all the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there.
what
I got it.
People even hate when you touch their hero slightly and adjust the damage. What
Yeah, I
would
was
you
gonna say.
suspect, like when they change their kit once a year?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like.
Mercy community. They're terrifying.
Oh God.
They're scary, man.
Yeah. Well, Mercy kind of went through those things and it kind of failed every single time, and that also shows
Every
that
single time.
yeah, as good as they did as good a job they did with Sombra, it's not a perfect science. It is difficult. I've said this many times before, but balancing and changing a hero in a game that is so strongly, as Frozen said, like where the essence is so important, but also the personal link is very important. Everybody has their own play style. I play Reinhardt very different from other people in my community, like Kobe plays Reinhardt. Kobe is just kind of all over the place. He's charging in. He's always gone. I'm more
one of those Reinhardts, is he?
yeah.
You're an Ana. You see him on the other side of the map.
Hi.
His charge button doesn't have the letter anymore. It's gone. It's just because he keeps pushing it. I'm more slightly defensive in my playstyle, which is I tend to be a little too defensive at some point. I need to be more aggressive. So everybody has their own playstyle in these heroes. You have all these millions of people, and then you have all these tiers of people that are really good to people that are so casual that they barely know how to start the game. And then you need to balance all of them with counterplay in mind, with the unique kits in mind. Good luck. I've said it many times, but it's not the job I would want to do. But anyways, I think they did a good job. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with Roadhog, even more now than before the Sombra rework. Because
yeah, absolutely. If it's at the same caliber as Sombra, I'm
feeling like they added some extra people that have some, I don't know, really unique minds, and that, I don't know. That's of course the thing.
Why it's good to get in new blood every so often.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of flux going on in the Overwatch team. There's people that I have known to join the team that then by now have left the team. Like one of my favorite skin designers, Armando, I remember him because I used to post his skins on the Omnic post before he joined Blizzard. Then he started working for Blizzard as a freelancer. Then he joined Blizzard, and he's already moving on. Now he's working on a DC game where he's making Batman skins and whatnot. To just kind of see that flux, like people that I've known to join the company have already left. There's a huge movement going on, but that is typical for the industry. Blizzard used to be very in previous, is that the word I'm thinking about? Like they didn't have that much influx or outflux of people. They were kind of sturdy. They were like a bastion within that industry, but there was a lot of movement. But that has definitely changed now. They're kind of taken into the flow, the ebb and flow of the industry.
I mean, so long as it's because, people are just happy to move rather than because they feel they have to. Obviously, if they feel they have to, it's not good. But
2 years ago, I would have said that it was because they felt like they had to. Now I would say like the dam has broken. Blizzard has lost their sex appeal towards all these developers. Sorry to kind of use that word, but you know what I mean. Like the appeal or the sexiness of being at that company, it's gone. So now it's still a favorite for a lot of people, but not the same way it used to be. And now they're kind of just one of the bigs. They're just one of the companies now. Well, that is actually a good segue. Why am I spitting? That's a good segue to the next topic. It's not only just a company now. It is officially, since last Friday. And before we go in and we unleash Hannah, let me kind of tell the story completely and finish my sentence. Maybe that is a good start. It is a Microsoft company. So, we've talked about this many a times, but this process started 2 years ago after the whole drama, the whole incident, where Bobby Kotick was mentioned multiple times, but he's still there. Anyways, I'll keep that for later. I will leave that to Anna. The company was in a bad shape, and the stock shares went down, and Microsoft was looking at that, and Microsoft had probably already been deliberating putting in an offer. And when they saw that price kind of going really deep, they were like, yeah, We're going to buy you guys.
Now's the time.
Yeah. So they put up. They put up the monstrous amount of $68 billion and an intent to buy Activision Blizzard. But as it goes, all these things need to be approved, and that wasn't as easy as it seems. You had to kind of work through all of that. Yeah. I don't know what that just was. My Battle.net client just kind of logged itself in and out. Okay.
You were very fuzzy.
Oh, my internet probably.
As well, so
your camera didn't like that.
Okay, probably my internet that went boop. It's been doing it weird all day. But we're back. It's all fine. So where was I? Oh, they had to be approved by the EU. It had to be approved by the UK. It had to be approved by like every single country basically where they do business need to approve it. Now the three big ones were the EU, the States, and the UK. In the EU, they were smart enough to kind of start discussions really early and to kind of, I don't know, suggest a lot of kind of changes to the plan. And for some reason, all that happened off stage. I feel like there's not a lot that we know about this negotiations going on. But afterwards, we learned that they made these separate deals when it comes to cloud gaming, which I still find extremely funny because nobody gives a fuck about cloud gaming right now. But anyways, you guys go right ahead. But both the States and the UK blocked it, and they had their, they had comments. But then in the States, they lost the lawsuit. And in the UK, after a lot of negotiation last Friday, it was approved by the CMA after they actually changed something big. They are going to give the cloud rights to Ubisoft. So Ubisoft is buying all of those and is going to be exploiting the games, all the Activision Blizzard games on the cloud. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But that basically gave him the green light. And I don't think the news was out there for... I know Hannah sent me this article, and literally 20 minutes later... I thought they would have done it in the evening, but I think they just got out of bed early and were like, yep, we're closing the shit. It's done.
Yep. It's finally getting over and done with.
We got all this press announcements. We got trailers. It was just like almost.
Finally.
Yeah. It's like they had set their alarm clock at 6 in the morning.
They're ready to hit post.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I feel like. They were like, is it okay? You sure? You sure? Call him to make sure. What did they say?
For this.
Why are they talking about fish and chips? I don't get it. It is okay. Let's go, and then they approved it.
Okay, go!
Let's go!
But yeah, it's now official, and a lot of people in the community are celebrating that. Even people that haven't been following all of it for obvious reasons, because the state of the company has not been good under the reign of Activision Blizzard and Bobby Kotick specifically. And then we got the news that Bobby Kotick is going to stay on till the end of the year, but January 1st.
I am going to give Blizzard so much money on January 1st.
There's so many skins that are going to be added to your account at that day.
I'm a buy games I don't intend to play. I'm going to buy all the skins.
Microsoft is going to be, what the hell is happening here?
I want to celebrate by giving Blizzard money because he is gone.
Yeah, he will be gone. This is something that we've been looking forward to, that we have been talking about. How long now, Hannah? 3 years? 5 years? I remember us talking about one of our first episodes, talking about the chokehold in which Activision Blizzard was slowly grabbing Blizzard. And we kept calling it out. We kept talking about it. We kept saying, this is not normal. What is happening here? We started this podcast back in the day when Overwatch 1 was released. Like, not too soon. Like, I think maybe, let's say 8 months after the release of Overwatch 1 or something like that. Maybe a year. And at that point, we slowly saw the signs of this happening. We saw Activision Blizzard. And I can put my finger on the moment that it really collapsed. And that was the moment that they lost Destiny. The moment that Destiny's developers said, we're going to buy ourselves out. We're out of here. See you, Bobby. Fuck you. We're going to go solo.
Yeah.
Then that moment, Bobby was like, who am I going to pester now? Oh, wait, we have that other studio. What did it call again? Blizzard? All right, I got this. And he went in and he ruined everything. But it's not that simple. He had already...
I know it's not just him, and I know it's not that simple, but he is a very horrible man who has done a very who's done lots of very bad things, and I am very happy to not have him near something that I am passionate about.
Yeah. I don't think he ever respected anything that Blizzard made.
No.
Like none of the games. I don't think he had a...
He didn't respect the people that worked for him. And he doesn't respect his customers, so why would he respect his product?
Yeah, but even like if he disrespects his customers and he disrespects his employees, I do think when he was still kind of just focusing on Activision, he probably didn't like the... I'm not going to say that he liked the games that he made, but he understood what was going on there. I don't think he ever understood what Blizzard stood for. I don't think he ever understood what the intent of that company was and what difference that company made. I'm giving you, like, if there's an alternate timeline, I've been watching Loki. If there's an alternate timeline in which Bobby Kotick did not put his hands on that company and he kind of laid off and let them do their thing, there might be some things that would have popped up and have kind of... There were issues in Blizzard that had nothing to do with Activision.
Yeah, absolutely.
That were swept under the rug by Activision Blizzard, but they happened at Blizzard. And I do think those would eventually have crept up and have caused issues. But I do think on a monetary level, I don't know, that company made a name for itself that was... They grew so fast after the release of World of Warcraft. They convinced so many people of their quality of games that they delivered, their intent, the passion, the soul of that company was so pure and so beautiful. Again, apart from some scumbags that were roaming around and that definitely needed to be removed. But if you look at the people that founded that company, those were just people like us, just plain and simple people that just loved making games and that loved telling these stories. That's one of the reasons why one of those people from the early days, like Chris Madsen, is coming back to that company because he misses it too much. He doesn't need to do it necessarily for the money. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know his bank, his financial situation, but he could have gone anywhere. A name like Chris Madsen could have gone to any company, and if he needed a job,
he could have just knocked on the door and said, "Hi, can I work here?" And they would have said yes. They would have found him a position.
If you had Blizzard back in the day, if you had Blizzard on your resume, you could get a job anywhere. It was one of the companies where people were constantly trying to get employees from. They were headhunting.
It was the dream to get in, but then the dream to have somebody with that experience. Yeah,
exactly. And they almost, like I said before, they were like a bastion. Nobody left because they were doing amazing stuff, and they got the stuffs. What is up with me today? I'm putting an S after everything. They were doing amazing stuff, and they were making awesome games that they loved themselves, which they're still doing. But it was such a different vibe from what it is today. I
know we're never going to get that back, but hopefully we can at least shed some of the corporate bullshit.
Exactly. We need to get closer to that point. We're never going to get back to that. I fully agree. But we need to get back to the place. And that's the one change I want to see. I asked, after the video I did on this topic, I asked the viewers, like, what do you want to see changed? And of course, there were the typical answers, like, I want 6 back, which I actually predicted. I said, I think I know what you're going to say. But what I want to see come back is that they put the developers back. And I don't mean the developers, just the people that write the code, but I mean the people that make the games. That was the thing with Blizzard. Those were the most important people at that company. Everybody that worked, that support them, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm not being disrespectful to anybody in PR, marketing, community, and management, and well, some people in some levels of management. Those were just there to facilitate these people to do their job, and that has switched around. And at some point, those people got on top of everything. Not necessarily the PR and the marketing people, but the more corporate people. They got their say in everything, and that needs to switch back. We need to give the power back to the developers and to the teams. That's what I think.
You can tell that to the entire industry right now, honestly.
Yeah.
That's something you could print somewhere and just hang it up.
Baldur's Gate, I think.
Exactly. Exactly. The best example is being made in my hometown right here where I live.
Yeah.
The company where I almost worked, but I refused to work for. That is set an example for the whole industry. That's how it can be done. I know a lot of people around here. I know some of the people on the highest level. I know a lot of them, and those are all just geeks that want to make awesome games. That's it.
Yeah.
If you meet those people in person, like one of those guys is someone that I used to play a lot of gigs within the metal scene and whatnot. And I've met the big Sven a few times, and he's just a big ass geek that knows what he's doing. And I really mean big. He's taller than me. He's huge. That man is huge.
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, I think he's 2 meter 15 or 2 meter 20 something. He's extremely tall.
And that's just something that the gaming scene used to have everywhere. Like, everywhere was just geeks wanting to make incredible games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that kind of changed once people saw, hey, we can make money out of this.
Yeah, that's the thing. They
Nice.
saw how
And, like,
profitable gaming could be.
yeah, and that's where it kind of starts to go downhill. But like seeing those like little gems, like gives you some kind of hope.
Exactly.
It really does. It really does.
I'm still here, by the way. Just my camera switched itself off because I made the same stupid mistake I made last week, and has not put my fan on my camera. It
So
overheated.
it's overheated again, huh?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
happened last week, and I forgot to put the fan up. I need to remind myself to put the fan up.
Yeah, no, it's not the first time that's happened either.
No,
because I
no,
know what camera's
it's a
on,
really
and I
good
wasn't
camera.
here last week.
it's a really good camera. It just overheats.
It does. It's not to overheat, especially when you're streaming. But I give me like 30 seconds, and I'll switch it back on. I put the fan on there, and it's kind of cooling it down now. No, exactly. I think we need to take the whole industry needs to look at that example. But for us, I think in this podcast and the people in this, well, the three of us, let's just put it that way, and the people that listen to this, I think the company that needs to take an example of that is Blizzard, Microsoft, and Blizzard now.
Yeah.
They need to look at the example and go, you guys know what you're doing. You guys are the professionals. Do your thing. And I do think they get the chance to do that. I do think we're going to go back to, I think I would not be surprised if some things pop up like StarCraft, for instance. I wouldn't be too surprised if that happens again.
I thought there were rumors of that coming back anyway.
Nah, as long as the Bobby Kotick, and that's what I meant earlier when I said I don't think Bobby Kotick understands what
But I think
this
it's one
does.
of the IPs that Microsoft were interested in bringing back.
Yeah, I can imagine because Microsoft is they have a rich history in those types of games and just RTS games. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised if they did. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what kind of. There was this one tweet that I think it was Flats that made the tweet that said, like, in the whole message that Bobby Kotick sent to the company, Overwatch wasn't even mentioned. And I feel like that is again the proof or the piece of evidence.
Yeah, that really sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sums up the whole experience.
Exactly. But I'm like, that's what I mean when I said I don't think he understands. I think he has a preference for certain games within the portfolio of Blizzard that he kind of like a World of Warcraft, because that is basically what started Blizzard, that made them the most money.
That's the big title. That's the big thing. So that's the important child.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I mean, like, I think Blizzard just makes a lot of different good titles, and they need to be appreciated for every like the new game that is going to be released, or that probably is going to be announced at BlizzCon. Yeah.
But yeah.
And then I always think about that story. I don't know if you guys remember this, where Jeff Kaplan told this before when they pulled the plug on Titan, and I think that might be one of the reasons. I'm just thinking out loud now. Bear with me. But I think that might be one of the reasons why he never gave Overwatch the chance it needed, because it kind of grew from Project Titan. He greenlit it. He saw the roster and he was like, "This is a story of Jeff Kaplan telling us, or that he told us on one of the streams, like that he did a presentation and of what the follow-up on Project Titan was going to be." So I guess you did not know, they had another MMORPG that they were making called Project Titan that was more shooter based than it was actually the classic click and cast story. It was slightly different. That after 4 years they pulled the plug out of it. It cost them like 100 million to kind of get to that point, which is a shit ton of money. And both Jeff Kaplan and Jeff Goodman came up with this idea of making it into this Team Fortress-like shooter, because they enjoyed Team Fortress. So they made this quick mock-up, they made a presentation, they showed it to Bobby. Bobby showed the hero roster, saw the roster, and asked to go back to that slide and was like, all right, I like this, do it. And he basically grinned at Overwatch. He gave, but I feel like, I don't know, he never forgave them for Project Titan. I don't know why he's kind of treating them like a stepchild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holding a grudge because he lost so much money. I don't know.
He made it back in droves after that.
So much money.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that he might have been holding back. I don't know if that is true. I'm just kind of. But on the other hand, we've heard all these stories, and when people that kind of have a more of an inside view, like some content creators talk to the developers on a closer basis, they're all in the same Discord server. They get this. I do think that some of these stories go out to these people a little easier than they do to the rest of us. I'm starting to think, what is happening in there? What was happening? What was happening in that team, within that company that made Jeff Kaplan leave, that made Jeff Goodman leave, that made, well, some of the people that we have known since the start, all of the public faces, they're all gone.
That was such a big day for me when, stuff was going down at Blizzard and we knew Jeff Kaplan was leaving. That was like such a moment of just,
oh shit,
wow, this is what they've come to.
Yeah. Like after every single person that left, like Michael Chu, there's a few people before that left. Michael Chu, then Kaplan himself, then Goodman, and then recently Scott. Those are all people that I felt like made that team, and we saw fall off one by one. And I don't mean like, I think Jared Nurse is doing an amazing job. I see a lot of disrespect for Aaron Keller. Like, he is the big evil, but he's not. He is actually, I think, the one thing left publicly of that team. Dion Rogers and Aaron Keller are the remnants of that old team that are still trying to defend that old story, and kind of basically are the bloodline, the old bloodline that is still intact. Aaron just focuses on making the game. That's what he's focusing on.
Honestly, like, everything around like people leaving has also not been really talked about enough or like open. Because I remember when I got into the game, I think 1 year after Jeff Kaplan left, after I started playing this game, I had no idea what was going on. I just like, I saw the memes, I saw like people being sad about Jeff. Like, I learned about things after, like you guys, like the podcast, or like, like talking to other people, but like just because I wanted to know more. But like people who just heard on the side about, like, probably didn't even have a clue what was going on, really.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, we don't even truly know what happened, and well, all we can do is make our best educated guesses.
Yeah. And that's exactly the reason why they don't talk about it, is to keep people that are not so close to the game like we are, because we make content about it and we talk about it and we are so invested in it.
It keeps it out of that larger sphere.
Yeah, you don't want that type of drama to go out there. On the other hand, I do think they need some more transparency on some of the choices that they make. Like, for instance, now with like currently with the balancing, like, why did they not balance a lot more heroes? That whole kind of fact that I have to kind of guesstimate, or kind of that we have to kind of draw our own conclusions. That would divert a lot of anger and frustration away if they would just kind of explain, like, all right, we didn't do a lot of balancing changes, but bear with us. We just want to make sure that we can properly measure the impact of Sombra on the whole. And I know you guys want to see the tanks change, and that you're not happy with the state of tanks, and we agree. But we have Roadhog coming up, we have Mauga next season. Well, they're never going to say that they have Mauga next season, but we have a tank coming next season, and we want to kind of build up to that and use that momentum to do those changes. And then everybody would be like, oh,
you're like, oh, okay.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Least they know. At least we would know it's on their radar. They don't even have to tell us what order they're doing things in, so long as they told us, don't worry, guys, it's on our radar. It's on the whiteboard.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people would feel better if they even said that much, but they just don't.
No, they don't. And I thought it was a Blizzard thing, but I don't think it is a Blizzard thing, because then we have seen the Diablo team coming out, basically over-explaining everything, doing 4-hour streams.
That's so much. Oh my god.
But I'd rather have that, and especially as a content creator, but I'd rather have that and kind of understand what is going on and what is on their mind and what they're thinking. Is it helping the Diablo team right now? I don't know. I feel like they're going in and out of these phases where they are hated, and then they're heralded, and then they're hated, and everybody wants to make a statue for them, and then they're hated again. But that is another story. That is us as gamers. We tend to get more finicky and more demanding with every week that passes. Like if I would, the demands that I see sometimes in the comments of my videos are like, you do understand that these are just people. They're not gods that can. I mean, you need to give them a little opportunity, a little chance to do what they're doing. What are you guys on about? It's just
standards some people apply.
Yeah, but you know what? In the end of the day, what everybody wants is the perfect game for them.
Yeah.
They want the game to be completely tuned to their experience. That is impossible. What are you doing? That is not. This is a game. This is a product that is used by millions.
How many people playing Overwatch? Like, you're never, ever going to be able to please everyone.
No. But could you imagine that we take that same approach to other digital products or to anything else?
Oh, God.
Like, I want a car that has 3 seats because it's just me, my wife, and we have 1 kid. We don't need that extra seat. I don't have money to change the tires for 4 tires every year. So could we get a car with 2 tires? And then I want to make sure I can get my what do you call it? My trailer and my second trailer tied into the car. So I need 2 hooks to attach them to, like that. You basically on demand have a car assembled. Like, make it yourself. But if you want a car, you go to a dealership and you go like, yeah, that color and that combination, that's it. And other than that, you can wait, I'm going to censor myself. You can there we go.
Yeah.
I started playing games back when they were just stick figures that punched a pixel over the screen. So you guys have seen nothing, okay? I'm going to draw the old mind card. It always works. Anyways, we've been chatting for a really long time. I think it's time to round things up. Hannah, I didn't give you the chance to kind of get really upset and angry, but if you want to add anything, like, you want me to censor the first word?
I'm glad he's going.
Okay, you can say it. Say the 2 words you want to say. I'll censor the first one. Oh no, I can't do that actually. So you have to do it yourself.
No, I need both words censored, really.
Oh wait, what were you going to say? This is getting complicated. It's British cursing. It's like an art by itself. Nobody understands it. It's very specific. They made it a whole language, and the rest of the world.
The whole language is just cursing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think we're all going to be happy that he's gone. I don't think there's anybody that is going to miss him, except maybe for some of his goons and some of the shareholders. Because
nobody important.
Nobody important. No. Nobody that we care about.
Nobody we value.
And I'm curious to see how many lawsuits he's going to get the moment that he leaves office.
The moment he leaves.
I'm wondering. This definitely the shareholders. You can say one thing about them: they have zero loyalty. The only thing they're loyal to is money. And if they see an opportunity, they will
take him for everything he's worth.
Oh yeah, that golden handshake. You better put it on a bank account, buddy, because you might need it. We'll see. He might not. But there's people you never know. All right. I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. Shit. No, fuck it. Hannah, can you tell these lovely people where they can find you?
At Plush Noodle on Twitter. Whee!
There you go. And Frozen?
Frozen Unicorn on Twitter and Instagram.
And the first O is a 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. LP couldn't make it today because I should have said that at the start of the podcast, but he is... he's doing a guided tour of Florida with his girlfriend from Germany.
Before I go.
No, you don't need to say before I go and then go. Oh, kitty cat.
Kitty! Oh, yeah. Drawing all the people towards YouTube now.
Yeah, exactly.
Kitties on the screen.
If you want to see the kitty cat, you need to join us on YouTube. Exactly. Mm-hmm. That is a beautiful segue. All right, you can check me out as DMCTV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. The Omnic Post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure to follow the podcast. Well, no, wait, let me say this first. I need to remind myself of doing this, but I want to thank our patrons for all their support. Woo. You guys are awesome, like I say every single time. You can join the Omnic Post family yourself over on patreon.com/the Omnic Post. And maybe you'll be right here when we record live next time. You also get early access to the episode of the podcast. So as soon as this is recorded, as soon as I hit that button, I just say goodbye to the ladies and I start editing the podcast and publish it as soon as possible. So it will be up immediately after we record this. So come
grab
join
it while it's hot.
Yeah.
Grab it while it's hot.
Exactly.
Grab it while he remembers what we spoke about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20 seconds later. You can also follow the Omnic Weekly on Instagram and Twitter. But you know what? The best idea is to either come check us out on YouTube and then you get the notification every time we put up an episode. Or you subscribe on whatever platform you're listening. Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. Doesn't matter. That way you get a notification as soon as we put up a new episode, which will be next week. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.